Something's about to happen that could dramatically change how much money ends up in your pocket next year. But most people have no idea just how much of their raise could be taken away before they ever see it. So, before you make any assumptions about that extra money you might be counting on in 2026, you need to hear what's really going on behind the scenes and why the government's math might not work in your favor. If you're one of the more than 70 million Americans who rely on monthly Social Security benefits, whether it's retirement, SSDI, SSI, spousal, survivor, VA, or RRB, then this update matters more than ever. Because what sounds like a modest cost of living increase could be wiped out almost entirely by one thing: the rising cost of Medicare Part B premiums. And if you're on a fixed income of around $800 a month or less, you might not see an increase at all. This isn't about a political opinion or a theory. This is math. And it's math that could cost you hundreds of dollars next year. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect from the upcoming 2026 COLA adjustment, how much more you'll be paying for Medicare, who's most at risk of getting no raise at all, and how to separate fact from fiction when it comes to Social Security eligibility. Because there's a lot of misinformation floating around right now that's scaring people for no reason. Stick with me to the end so you know what's really true and what could seriously affect your monthly check. And before we go deeper into the numbers, if you or someone you care about receives benefits or will soon apply, make sure you're subscribed to stay informed. Everything I cover here is based on current official data, real policy changes, and projections from trusted, nonpartisan sources. These updates can protect your finances from surprises. Now, here's what the experts are saying. The most trusted source right now for COLA projections is the Senior Citizens League. They've been tracking Social Security cost of living adjustments for years, and last year they nailed it almost exactly, correctly forecasting a 2.5% increase for 2025. Their latest projection for 2026 now sits at around 2.6%, and that's based on recent inflation trends. Going back through the months, their estimates steadily rose. February was 2.3%, March and April were 2.4%, May and June were 2.5, and now in July it's 2.6%. If inflation keeps climbing even slightly, we could easily see that number hit 2.7%. Other projections paint a similar picture, with Mary Johnson, a well-known Social Security analyst, forecasting between 2.6 and 2.7%. Meanwhile, TipsWatch is slightly more aggressive, projecting a 2.8% increase. Some mainstream media outlets have lower estimates between 2.3 and 2.4, but overall, the trend is upward, though still far below recent years when inflation was surging. But here's the issue, and this is the part that most beneficiaries aren't being told clearly enough. Medicare Part B premiums are also going up, and not just a little. The projected increase for Medicare Part B in 2026 is a jump of $21.50, bringing the total monthly premium to about $200, $166.50. That's an increase of roughly 11.6%. Think about that. Social Security benefits may rise by 2.6%, but Medicare costs are climbing more than 4 times faster. For people living on a modest Social Security check, say $800 a month or less, that entire COLA increase could be consumed by the Medicare Part B premium hike alone. You might not see even a penny more in your monthly check come January. That's the hard truth. And yet, many Americans are under the false impression that the annual COLA automatically means more spending money. For some, it does, but for many, it doesn't. This isn't just speculation, it's built into how the system works. COLA is calculated using a formula based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, or CPIW, not the standard CPI you see on the news. And the final COLA figure for 2026 will be based on inflation data from July, August, and September of this year. That official announcement is expected in the second week of October. Once finalized, SSI recipients will be the first to receive the increase in late December 2025. Then, beginning in January 2026, the updated amounts will apply to everyone else on Social Security, including retirement, SSDI, and survivors. Now, let's clear up some dangerous misinformation that's been spreading online, and even in some mainstream media. There are claims floating around that undocumented immigrants are receiving Social Security benefits. Some people believe millions of individuals who entered the country illegally are being paid out of the Social Security Trust Fund. That is absolutely false. It's legally and logistically impossible. To collect Social Security, you must meet three strict criteria. First, you must have a valid Social Security number. Second, you must have worked and contributed to Social Security through payroll taxes for at least 10 years to earn 40 credits. And third, you must be at least 62 to start collecting retirement benefits. If someone is undocumented and hasn't met these criteria, they are not receiving Social Security. Period. Now, some confusion stems from the difference between Social Security and SSI, Supplemental Security Income. The Social Security Administration manages both, but they're not the same program. Social Security benefits are paid out from trust funds funded by your FICA contributions. SSI, on the other hand, is paid from general tax revenue and has strict eligibility requirements of its own. Even for SSI, a person must be a legal resident or documented immigrant to qualify. Undocumented individuals do not qualify for either program. There is no secret pipeline of payments going out to people who broke immigration laws. That narrative is fear based, not fact based. Of course, in rare cases, someone might fraudulently use a stolen social security number. That's criminal identity theft, not government approval. And when that happens, ironically, the wages earned often go unclaimed by the thief and can end up boosting someone else's future benefits without their knowledge. But again, this is extremely rare and not a systematic abuse of the Social Security system. Here's where this becomes even more important. Misinformation about Social Security isn't just annoying, it's harmful. It's being weaponized by people who want to dismantle the entire Social Security program. Some lawmakers and public figures are using false claims about misuse or insolvency to push for radical reforms or outright elimination of the program. If they can convince enough Americans that the system is broken or being abused, they can justify slashing it or replacing it with private alternatives. We've seen this play out before. Some tech billionaires and politicians have publicly called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. They claim it's unsustainable. But the truth is that Social Security is one of the most successful and vital social insurance programs in American history. It keeps millions of seniors, children, disabled workers, and veterans out of poverty. What it needs is protection and smart reform, not destruction. So, what can you expect going into 2026? Most likely a COLA increase of 2.6 to 2.8%. That might mean an extra $35 to $40 a month for many retirees. But if Medicare Part B premiums rise by over $21, a large chunk of that increase will be gone before you see it. And for people on the lower end of the income scale, especially those receiving under $1,000 a month, there may be no increase at all after premiums are deducted. To sum it up, yes, Social Security benefits are increasing in 2026, but so are your healthcare costs. And the net gain might be smaller than you expect, if there's any gain at all. That's why staying informed about inflation, premium changes, and eligibility rules is critical. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to stay ahead of upcoming Social Security changes before they hit your check, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. You deserve to know exactly what's going on with your benefits, and we'll be here every step of the way to make sure you get the truth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.